Today, we're going to talk about an amazing story. It's all about creativity, a little bit of family history, and some seriously cool gravity-defying science. So let's just start with the big question, right? How on earth can a car drive upside down? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? Like completely defying gravity. But as we're about to find out, it all comes down to a really brilliant idea, a forgotten mystery, and a super clever bit of physics. And this whole thing starts with our hero, Nesma. Now, Nesma wasn't your average kid. She was a creator through and through. She absolutely loved inventing things, always tinkering, taking stuff apart and putting it back together just to figure out how it all worked.
And that passion for inventing, well, it was about to find its perfect challenge.
So the whole journey kicks off in a pretty ordinary way. One day, Nesma's just reading her school's newsletter, and an ad for a science competition catches her eye. Her friend Lila sees it too and is like, "Nesma, this is totally for you." It was a big deal, a school science competition with a really fantastic prize in science on the line. Lila really encouraged her to go for it, and you know what? That little push was all it took. But to have a great entry, you need a great idea. And Nesma's inspiration was about to show up from a very unexpected and very personal place. Nesma was looking everywhere for ideas, books, websites, but nothing really clicked. Seeing her kinda stuck, her dad brought her something really special, this dusty old box that had belonged to her grandmother. And this is where things get really interesting. Nesma learns that her grandma was also an inventor. How cool is that? It was like this passion for creating just ran in the family. Nesma realized she was following in some pretty impressive footsteps. So, super excited, Nesma opens the box. And inside she finds them, these detailed, hand-drawn plans for a unique kind of vehicle. What an amazing discovery. But as she looked closer, she saw there was a catch, a problem her grandma had never been able to solve. Tucked inside those plans was the heart of the whole problem. It was a handwritten note from her grandma that said, "I could never find a way to make the car stay on the track." And just like that, this wasn't just a science project anymore. This was personal. It was a family mystery that Nesma knew she had to solve. So with her mission crystal clear, it was time to roll up her sleeves and start building the impossible. Now, this was way too big a project to tackle alone. Her friend Lila jumped right in, ready to help, and the two of them decided they would solve this mystery together. They weren't just going to build the car, they were going to build the special track it needed too. They figured out pretty quickly that her grandma's original design needed a modern power boost, so they decided to bring in some solar energy. See, by adding these little photovoltaic panels, the car could turn sunlight directly into electricity. That would give the motor the extra oomph it needed, especially when it was fighting against gravity. Their plan for the build was just so clever. Okay, so first, they built a sturdy little frame for the car. Then, and this is the secret ingredient for solving Grandma's problem, they attached a long magnet to the bottom. The whole idea was that this magnet would create a super strong pull to a metal track, strong enough to hold the car on even when it was completely upside down. After that, they installed the motor and a small spring and hooked it all up to those solar panels. It was this amazing mix of old plans and brand new ideas. So the car was finished, the track was all set, all that was left was the final nerve-wracking test at the competition. The big day finally arrived on a Thursday. The room was buzzing, full of projects and nervous energy, but for Nesma and Layla, this was it. This was the moment of truth, time to show their creation to the judges. And the judges, they were meticulous. They looked at everything. The carefully built car, the solid frame, the tiny motor, those innovative solar panels, and, of course, the powerful magnets that the whole project depended on. And then the whole room went quiet. They put the car on its metal track. Nesma and Lila just held their breath as it started to move. It went along the flat part, it started to climb the vertical wall, and then the impossible happened. The car went fully upside down, clinging to the track, and just kept on going. It worked. The magnet was holding on, literally defying gravity right there in front of everyone. That incredible moment, it was so much more than just a successful experiment. It was a real breakthrough. And the result? First place. Nesma and Layla won the competition. All that hard work, the research, the teamwork, it paid off in the absolute best way possible.
But Nesma got something way more valuable than a trophy that day. By solving her grandmother's mystery, she discovered her own calling. She didn't just win a science fair, she found her future. She knew with total certainty that she wanted to be an inventor, just like her grandma.
So, Nesma found this problem from the past and solved it by mixing her grandmother's vision with modern science, magnetism, and solar power. It just goes to show you that the next huge idea might be hiding in some old notebook, just waiting for a fresh pair of eyes. Which, of course, leaves us with one last question. What problem will you solve next?